Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, I'm just so excited to be back and filming for you guys that I wanted to do a social hour. This is a more of like a freeform one. Usually I'll write notes and things, but I really just want to do like a chat and work on a project with me type social hour. Sorry. That feel better? I don't know. Yes, there we go. So, as you know, we have been in a global pandemic due to Miss Rona. I have heard that some people's videos on YouTube have been getting like flagged if you say the C word, but we gonna call her Miss Rona. So, with that, I just wanted to give you guys a little update about what I've been doing, what I've been going through. Honestly, for the for what's been going on is my job, they sent us home, so we have our computers and everything here at home, and honestly that was the best thing that could ever happen. So I wouldn't say that my work environment was toxic or anything. It was just that, like, for the call volume, and I haven't worked in a call center in a very long time, and the one I did work in, it was less stressful than now. I work in the finance department, so if you can imagine how that goes. But you can imagine how that goes. So it was just being in the office, the environment, having to get used to stats and things like that was really difficult for me. So luckily, we got sent home, and because I was doing so well in the home environment, I was offered a full-time work from home position, which of course I took. So even when things get back to somewhat of like normal, I am not obligated to go back into our office, which makes me extremely happy and which makes my supervisor happy because my stats are awesome. So there has been some good things to this whole pandemic. Another thing, I've been really conscious about my weight. I was diagnosed being pre-diabetic, which does run in my family. Um, so I've been making sure to take extra care of myself, and I just feel like I have more time to do things than before. Now, with that being said, I am so extremely blessed to have been among the people who are currently still working. I try not to take that for granted at all. I have an amazing job that pays me well. I'm no longer working two jobs. And so I have a lot to be thankful for. And then even with this new opportunity of staying home, like, I'm just so thankful. And so now I'm trying to get back into crafting. If I'm looking over here, my computer is like my viewfinder, and I think it's like reflecting my glasses. So I'm trying to stop that from happening, but it is what it is. Um, yes, so I'm trying to get back into crafting, and so since I've had so much more free time, so I've been taking some time off from work, I have gotten back into crafting. Now, I haven't really too much crocheted. I do have something in mind that I want to crochet, but right now, what's been on my agenda is knitting. I have just fallen in love with knitting. I Okay, crochet is still my number one because many of you know my grandma taught me how to crochet, so it's very near and dear to my heart, um, having that passed down to me from her. But knitting has just like, it's kind of like stealing the show. I mean, I'm knitting. If you've seen the podcast, which would have been uploaded last week on what's today? What was it? Whatever. The podcast would have been uploaded. Episode 29, you will see that I have been working on shawls, socks, and things like that. So I'm definitely enjoying everything that I have on my needles. Um, I really want to venture into more different like knitting techniques. and things like that. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I figured out that for me, like the type of crafter that I am, I like to crochet sweaters and cardigans. And I like to use crochet for garment making because it's just a little bit easier. I also like to crochet blankets. So when I end in like cute little tops. So like when I'm in the mood to crochet, it's usually due to me wanting to make something that's instantly gratifying. Because you know, with knitting, it takes time. So with that, I think that's kind of where I pick and choose what I want to do. So, but for knitting, I like to make socks. I think that sock knitting, albeit it takes me a while, is like the best thing in the world. I'm not gonna lie. Like, look at this. But anyway, like I was saying, I have just really been enjoying knitting. I haven't really found a crochet project that has really piqued my interest. I'm actually, because it is gonna start getting cooler soon. Right now we're still in the hundreds. I think today they said the high for today was gonna be 111. I definitely for sure think I'm going to go ahead and oh, the kids, God. I definitely for sure am going to start getting some cardigans and sweaters out. Because there was a sweater I made a year ago. It's that green and white one. I don't think I definitely showed it on one of the podcasts that I need to get the pattern out because I did have a lot of people who are interested in making it. So I want to write up a pattern, but I need to make it again and get the numbers right because guys, you know me, I just go with the flow and I adjust where I need to adjust, but I actually want to, release that pattern so people can make it. And then also I've since then I have lost some weight, so I want an updated one to fit me currently because I am no longer a 3X in size. So I definitely need an updated sweater for that. And then this time for sure I'm gonna line it because it's not lined, but it's really important for me to line it. And then that was the first time I ever made a hood, so I also want to redo it so that I can get the hood correct, because the one that I made was just a little too big and it's really heavy in the back of it. So I really want to add some structural support to it. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say about the sweater. I just got to make sure I write down everything this time instead of thinking that I'm going to remember it. That's the number one thing. Just because you think you're going to remember it doesn't mean you are, and you just might not. So just be very careful with that. But I'm definitely going to get an updated sweater pattern and sweater size. I'm going to try and get it a little bit more fitted because the other one did, sorry if I keep bumping the camera, the other one did have a lot of positive ease, and I think I want to take some of that out this time. So that's that on that. These socks are coming along pretty well. I've been working on them. I wanted to try and finish them, but I don't know. I'm just going to keep chugging along. I'm not a fast knitter, so I'm not going to keep getting myself all down and out about it. I'm just going to go at my pace until they're done, just so I can make sure they're done correctly, because I've already messed up on some of the increases, and that's what happens when I try to rush. So I need to make sure that I'm not rushing and doing things correctly. But aside from that, I wanted to talk about, because I just recently found this podcast. I don't remember the name of it, but I will find it and I'll put it in the description box. It's the Cozy Cottage Crochet. I think that's the name of her podcast. I'm not too sure. But she has a Mission Impossible crochet along that or make along that she was doing. I don't think it's still open anymore. But basically, she was saying she was challenging her subscribers and, of course, other people who wanted to do it to make something that they feel that they couldn't, like, was just very daunting to them. And for me, that has to do with knitting. So like when it comes to crochet, because I'm more comfortable with it, of course, I really don't find any problems with picking up just like a more complicated crochet something and doing it. But with knitting, I get very, very, very intimidated. So I would like to delve into the life of color work. I would like to, the first thing I want to do is I really want to learn how to make mittens. I think mittens are so cute. And with mittens, I don't want to do like plain mittens. I want to do color work mittens. So I do think that I'm biting a little bit more off than I can chew because I have to learn how to make mittens. But I think it's also a good place for me to start because I'm getting really good at making socks. And I was looking at a mitten pattern and I was trying to read it to the best of my ability. And the construction reminds me a lot of socks. So I was thinking that I can apply the knowledge that I have already with sock making to making the mittens. So, like I was saying, I was doing some research on mitten. I do not know why I said that like that. Mitten knitting. And to my understanding, for the most part, the construction is the same. I do see that I might have to learn how to do stuff cuffed down. I don't know. I'm pretty sure there is a way that I could probably do it from the top working all the way to the cuff because I'm not really, I don't like having to cast on too many stitches. I'm so serious. Like if I have to cast on like 60 some stitches, I'm just not gonna want to do it. So that's why I prefer to knit my socks toe up because it's just you start off with a small amount of stitches and then you increase to what you need, and you only have to increase like a half at a time. So it's not like you're doing all of the, I don't know, it's probably about the same amount of work, but it's just a trick of the mind for me. So I'm actually the color work pattern that I saw, it was more like cuff down, and I'm not a cuff up. I don't know what you would call that, but I don't want to do that. I want to start from the top of the mitten and work my way down. So I'm gonna try and find a pattern that can suit that need so that I can I'm gonna fake participate in her Mission Impossible make along because I'm pretty sure it's over. I started watching her podcast probably like yesterday, so I'm trying to catch up with her episodes, and I think it's already over, but I want to do that just as a self goal for myself. Some other goals that I have is I do want to get faster at knitting. For the 2021 year, I do want to see if I can at least do one pair of socks a month. Because I know that Woolenbein, she used to do the box of socks Cal. I don't know if she does it anymore. But I want to do my own little box of socks because I really want to up my handmade wardrobe. So I want to do at least one crochet garment and then one knit garment. So my crocheting, I need to get better at finishing my projects because I really do have an issue with following through with my projects. And I really want to get better at that. That's definitely going to be a New Year's resolution. Just so that for sure, I can have my me-made closet. Another thing I was thinking about sewing. That's just because I've been bored, but I'm not into sewing. I was contemplating it for a while because I like to make pillows and I thought it would be really cool to like sew a pillow, but with that that's easy. That's just the rectangle and then you stuff it. Hold on. but I don't know if I would have the capacity to actually like sew clothing. I watch a lot of sewing YouTube videos like Bernadette Banner. Um, what's her name? Oh, she's my favorite one too. Her and Bernadette. I can see her channel in my head, but I can't think of her name. But she's really good, and they usually do Edwardian sewing. So from the 1800s sewing, and I thought that was really cool. They're historic sewers, and they like to dress up in those time. Rachel Donner, that's her name, Rachel Donner. So I think that it's definitely something that I can accomplish. I would like to learn how to sew, but I just at this time like I don't think I have the patience for it. But I know that the reward, like the feeling like, oh, I made this, that's kind of what I'm looking for. I just like making stuff, but I don't have a lot of follow through with what I make. Like if it's too much, I'll like stop. So I'm trying to get out of that habit, but it's really, really hard. And I'm just talking, guys. I don't even know if anybody will watch this video. But, this is just a time, I just, a lot of things that I wanted to. My podcast was already an hour long, and I was like saving all of this stuff. And I was like, oh, let's just get this out of my head. There's so many more things that I want to do. I want to be self-sufficient. I want to like this pandemic really, really, really showed a lot of true colors of a lot of businesses and a lot of people in general. And I really want to be self-sustaining. Like I showed on the podcast, I made my own lip balms and body scrub. I want to be able to not have to depend on an establishment. I would like to be an entrepreneur, business owner. So these are all the things that I'm trying to teach myself so that maybe one day like I can sell my lip balms and my body scrubs and maybe teach classes on like crocheting, probably not knitting because, really not my strong suit, but definitely crocheting and things like that. And I definitely wanted to get back into my YouTube, and I realized work is exhausting, but if I can, I can dedicate the time to my YouTube. I just have to be really diligent about it. So with that, I want to start getting back into my YouTube, into crocheting. I used to design a lot. I used to make a lot. And all of that stuff was really important to me. And then I got older, started working, and then it just became about like how much money can I make, how much more time can I dedicate to work, forgetting like all the things that make me happy. So this is my foot back into the door. I'm trying to maintain it, you know what I mean, by pre-filming, so that at least if maybe something happens, I still have a video or so that I can get up and things like that. And I just want to reconnect back with my audience. Like, even though I haven't really been on YouTube consistently, my subscriber count has gone up. And I'm just like so thankful to everyone who has subscribed to my channel, who watched my videos, and I want to get back into that and give you guys good content. I spent a lot of money on the equipment that I bought for my channel because I was like, I'm gonna be a full-time content creator. So I want to definitely get back to those roots and utilize all that stuff, and that comes with me dedicating time to working on all my projects, so all the stuff that you saw in the podcast, and also make like filming, and the filming part's not that hard to me. I was just being lazy. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I was just being really lazy because I was like, I don't want to get out the camera, I don't want to get out the microphone. But it took me like less than 5 seconds to set it up this morning. So I really need to I really need to get it together. It literally took me 5 seconds to set it up. So no more complaining. I'm gonna find a good filming schedule that works best for me, and I want to at least dedicate like 20 minutes per project per day, just to at least make sure that something gets worked on, and the stuff's not just sitting there, because I'm notorious for that, y'all. And stuff will sit here like those green socks, y'all. The first one took me 2 years to knit. And the second one I started in October of 2019, and I just finished it yesterday. Well, whatever day that I said in the podcast. So that's my number one thing, is that I want to hold myself more accountable, and stop being so lazy. I block a lot of my blessings just by being lazy, because for me it's like I'd rather not do something when I definitely have the capabilities of doing it. So, I mean, that's just my number one thing. I need to stop being a blocker of my own blessings and things, because I've always wanted to have a YouTube, and I now have a YouTube, and I don't even use it. I never thought I would even have 100 subscribers, let alone 1,000 subscribers. Like, it's insane, and I am very proud. So I want to get back on it, y'all. But anyway, enough about me. What projects have you guys been doing? And do you have any languishing whips? I just recently, because my room here at this house is really small, and when I got sent home from work because of the Rona, I had to fit a desk, 2 computer monitors, and all of the junk that goes with a computer in my room. So I had to pack up all of my yarn. And so that's another reason why I haven't been crocheting, because I don't want to buy any more yarn. I have like tubs and tubs full of yarn, but it's all packed up and I can't really get to it. So, excuse me. So with that being said, I haven't really like wanted to crochet, because I don't want to have to go in there and get nothing out of them tubs. Not a thing. Not a thing. But I have a lot of like scrap yarn that I tossed away. A lot of projects that I knew I wasn't gonna do, I tossed away. And it was just excessive and ridiculous, and I don't want to keep sitting on projects like that anymore. I'm going to, like, for 2021, I'm going to dedicate myself to only make what I know I'm going to use. Like, it has to be useful. It has to be. I can no longer, it's just so wasteful, to make something and it doesn't get used. So, and that also comes in turn of who I choose to gift things for. I like giving things away that I make, because I make it from my heart, but not everybody is into that handmade life, and that's perfectly okay. So I'm definitely only going to be making and gifting to people I know who are going to use it. And then even in terms of myself, I'm only going to be making things that I'm going to use. No more wasting yarn. No more just wasting time on projects that I'm not going to finish. Because at this point, it is just extremely excessive. Sorry. And it's unnecessary. So, yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk to. If you have any languishing whips or things that, like, your Mission Impossible, something that you've always wanted to make but you felt like you couldn't, leave that in the description box below and let us talk about it. This is the Social Hour. So any opinions, comments, questions you have, there is in the description box below ways for you to get in contact with me. And of course, the comments box is always open for you. And thank you so much for sitting through a 27-minute video of me talking about absolutely nothing. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one.